The reason why we're talking about this tonight is purely because of the budget that we had back on the 12th of May. That was a budget that I think it's safe to say has been quite challenging for a large portion of the population, regardless of your side of politics. I've heard some very good arguments for and against some of these changes that have come in, but the intent of the changes is to make the houses more affordable, effectively for first home buyers, and I think it will do that. But what the way that they've gone about it is they've outlawed negative gearing. I think it was done 40 or 50 years ago as well, in the 80s, and that's where existing residential property has, you're not able to negatively gear against that. So if you were to go out today and purchase a property that's existing, so it's not a new build, you can't negatively gear against it, or I guess you can at the moment, but it will only last until the 30th of June next year. There's this little transitional window, but apart from that, it's effectively outlawed. If you want to negatively gear into a property, you can only do so into a brand new build, and the rules stay the same there. You can use that, you can take any of those losses, surplus losses, and you can move that across. If you already had an existing arrangement, so you already had a property that had, a contract was signed, or you already owned the property and it was already in a situation where it was negatively geared, or at least the property was contracted for purchase prior to the 12th of May this year, that can still be negatively geared. And my understanding at this stage is that it is permanently grandfathered. I've heard a couple of things, or read a couple of articles that have said there's a 5-year window. I can't actually read that in any legislation at this stage. So my understanding is that it's permanently grandfathered. So the majority of negative gearing into property has been against existing residential properties. It's somewhere in the vicinity of 70 to 80% of all negative gearing was going into existing residential properties. So the demand, I think, from investors for existing households has probably just fallen off a cliff.